Hey there, Stealth Camping Alliance. Just wanted to throw my April Stealth Camping Alliance video in with my May one, and you'll see why. It is Thursday night, April 27th. I was hoping for the second time in the last week to get out and do my April Stealth Camping Alliance camp out. But I have had migraine headaches every day since Monday, and today's Thursday. I warned my husband when I was on my way home that I once again had a migraine today, and when I got home from work, I really needed quiet. Well, I didn't tell him that. And I really should have, because that's my husband outside, currently mowing the lawn. God bless him for mowing the lawn. It is the thing that woke me up from my almost nap when I got home. Here's a bunch of my gear that was going to go in my backpack. Sunday night, April 30th. Better late than never. It's pouring the rain here in Bristol, Connecticut. And I'm heading to one of my favorite places to camp. A place that I used to come up all the time as a teenager. And I'm going to very quickly set up my tent, get inside it, and I'll check back in after that. It's all downhill from here. If I don't trip. Ooh, it's raining.
Well, I'm sitting in my tent. It took me half an hour to set the tent up because I'm basically on gravel right now. And the stakes keep pulling out. It's a semi-freestanding tent, but I do need to stake out the footbox. Just got in my tent, and a wave of nausea hit me, and I started throwing up. I've had headaches all week because of the barometric pressure, and it's been raining off and on all week. And I just pulled everything out of my pack, started drying off the inside of my tent, and realized I don't have my sleeping pad. And I definitely cannot sleep on cold, wet gravel in April with no insulation between me and the ground. I'm going to give myself a few minutes to wait until this wave of nausea leaves, and then I'm going to pack everything up. I'm about a mile from my parents' house, and I think my husband, even though it's 11 something at night, and he has to get up for work in the morning, he's going to come and get me. Ugh. It sucks.
Yeah. So, I was truly bummed that I could not participate in the April challenge, but May's a new month, and it's a new challenge. So let's go. Well, I haven't even gotten to where I need to be yet. I just pulled over into a parking lot. I was going to get out and go to the store that parking lot was in, and as soon as I opened my door, someone came right up and hit my door with their passenger's side mirror. So she was a little close and not paying attention. She apologized. She did not want to exchange insurance information. So, yeah. I feel like I can't be this close to Munson's chocolates and not stop in to indulge myself. Just a little something for dessert. Here goes something, I hope. I spy with my little eye a geocaching container. Woohoo! Here's another geocache. There's geocache number 4, I think. So last week, my hiking partner and I were in this area hiking part of the Shinipsit Trail for our Hike, Bike, and Paddle series, and I still wasn't sure where I was going to do my bike packing stealth challenge trip. I noticed that we were actually in a parking lot that connected to the East Coast Greenway and to a very popular nearby rail trail. I ended up doing some research and found out that I could leave my car in the parking lot overnight. After we ended our hike that day and went our separate ways, I decided that I wanted to find a couple more geocaches on the way home. If you don't know what geocaching is, I'll put a link in the description of this video. My husband and I have been geocaching since 2007. Our dear friends introduced us to it, and it's a great sport/game/hobby that we really enjoy. One of the geocaches that I found that day after our hike was called Camp Johnson, and it intrigued me because it made me wonder what it was. It turns out that it is a Boy Scout camp, and then I wondered to myself, I wonder if I can camp near camp for my stealth bike packing trip. I looked some map and information up and found that it was not too far from the rail trail. Decided that would be my spot for this challenge by going from the rail trail to the outskirts of the Boy Scout camp. The trail was really beautiful, and I hope I was able to capture at least a little bit of that for this video. All right, I made it to camp. There's my tent. As you see, there's my bike. I'm just off of a trail, and I know that the Boy Scouts had something today, but they're all gone now, and everybody has school tomorrow, so I don't imagine anybody will be out here tonight. I'm going to finish getting my tent set up, sleeping pad and everything. So I'm debating on whether or not to make dinner because I have a full meal that I was going to fry up in a frying pan, but I feel like there's bears in this area, and I don't think I want to attract them. So I think I'm going to eat a couple of snacks that I have in my pack and not make the dinner that I had. That was actually a dinner that I was going to make last month. So I guess this dinner might never be made because it's definitely not going back in the freezer after tonight. So there's dinner. A fig bar, some black olives, and the chocolate I got from Munson's. And I'm going to wash it down. I'm going to wash it down with an Arnold Palmer from Arizona. Because I'm thinking about my son tonight. He lives in Arizona. And I'll tell you what, if you're ever in the Tucson area and you're looking for a good place to have dinner, go to the Cup Cafe at Hotel Congress and have Chef Seth make you a bangin' meal. He has cooked for TV stars and celebrities. One time he got to make barbecue for Stevie Nicks, so he must be pretty good. Not bad. I'd say it's about 12 to 14 feet off the ground, and it's definitely far enough from the trunk where a bear is not going to want to climb that, and that bear wouldn't be supported by that anyhow. Here's my do-rag look. I'm in my tent, my chores are done, I'm pretty tired, it's been a long day. It was a bit of a hassle to get here from the rail trail. There were a ton of people on the trails today, and it took me a while to figure out how to get to where I was going to camp, and I had to do it without other people being around, which meant I had to wait until dusk. And then this guy showed up with his bike just as I was getting ready to turn off the rail trail to this spot. And I was walking beside my bike because I knew I wasn't going to be able to ride my bike down this trail. And he was like, "Oh, is your bike okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, my legs are just tired." I mean, he was well-meaning. I wasn't threatened by him in any way, but he wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. So I had to wait until he turned around and went back to his car, because I'm only about maybe a half of a mile from parking, and that's the parking that he got on the trail at. So once I saw him going in the other direction, I knew he was heading back to his car, and that's when I turned down the trail and came down here. And I'm ready to go to sleep. I had to do a lot of zigging and zagging back and forth, waiting for people to clear out of the trail. I did find 7 geocaches, so that was a good use of my time, but I probably put about 4 miles on my bike, and I had only intended to do the 1.2 from where my car is to here, so I'm a little tired, and I haven't been on a bike in 2 years, but all's well that ends well. Looking forward to getting to sleep, and I'll touch base with you in the morning. Good morning. It is about 7:40 in the morning. It's so great to wake up to the sounds of birds and just be out here. It's been too long since I've been in a tent. Last night was not my best night's sleep, but it was also not my worst night's sleep. I was on a slant, so I used my clothes bag propped up under my sleeping pad. It's an old hack if you've never heard of it. I usually find that if I put something underneath my sleeping pad, somewhere between my shoulder and my hip, that I don't have such a feeling of falling off my sleeping pad. So worked fine. I am going to get packed up. I think I'm going to take my tent down before I do too much else. That way, if anybody does walk by me, they can't blame me for anything. Yeah, so that's the trail right there. And that's my tent. So my water's boiled, and I might be skipping coffee because I still have a headache, but I am not going to skip breakfast because I've got to get out of this place that I'm at, and then I've got over a mile to ride back to my car. So I'm having my normal breakfast when I hike and backpack, and sometimes just my normal breakfast. This is 2 packages of Quaker protein banana oatmeal along with some peanut butter. Normally oatmeal doesn't last with me, but I think adding the peanut butter definitely makes a difference. And I'm rehydrating it in this shepherd's pie bag. I try to save these so that way I can get as many uses out of them as I can before this Ziploc seal part stops working, and it saves me from having to use something else. And yeah, so the water's boiled. We're good to go. Thanks for the idea for the little table, Hojangle Outdoors. I have another table, but it's bigger and it's bulkier, and I wanted something smaller, and I saw on one of her videos that she was using this table, so I plagiarized and bought one myself. Thanks again, Hojangle. It's a little bit buggy, the spot where I am. All of my bug spray is at home in a can. Okay, my backpack is on. My bike is ready. Got about a third of a mile or so, maybe a little more, to hike up to the trail, and then 1.2 miles, I think, to my car. I don't have any more memory on my GoPro, so I think it's all going to be cell phone footage between here and the car. So there might not be as much, but I'll try. don't know if this is picking up how the light is playing on the rocks. It's so pretty. It's just bouncing off the rocks and catching the reflection of the water. It's really beautiful. Alright, we'll see if this works. Into the tunnel we go. Thankful that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Deep yo. Back in the car and ready to head home. What an adventure this was. I learned a lot. I definitely need to do a little work on my bike, but I had always wanted to bike pack, and now I can say that I have. It was great. It was exhausting, and now I'm probably going to go home and see if I can take a nap, so I'm ready to go back to work tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the trail.